The sermon this morning is a spoken word piece. It's a combination of Easter 5 and Mother's Day. The words are on the blog for those who have trouble hearing or the cadence is kind of strange for you. Mother Stone. Not to throw stones, but we've had 4 weeks of Luke via Acts. 4 weeks of words attributed to Peter, words by John. Mother wisdom being lost as the men record their resurrection versions of the story. And today I'm left stone cold as we get pelted with stones. Please give me a Rosetta Stone to translate Peter, Luke, and John. Mother Mary was at the tomb, a gravel pile of women denoted as composite Marys. Marys, they. Sifted stone just capturing names of Magdalena, Salome, Joanna. Mothers, Marys, resurrection stories rolled behind a stone. The stone rolled away today to be thrown Stephen's way. Chosen, he was charged with the equitable care of widows, serving tables, feeding the poor, offering stone soup, the social service of the day, providing for all in need, those disenfranchised, forgotten because you cannot get blood from a stone. Stephen kept his nose to the grindstone, full of grace, persuasive passion, heeded signs and wonders among the people, splitting stones, speaking in ways detractors could not dispute. Trying, they cast stones, bringing false witnesses, false accusations, but the very stones could talk, and false was false. Truth would rock the lot. The standing stone was Stephen's why. He preached longer than any Jesus sermon presented by Luke, longer than any speech by Paul, and he mined, digging into repeated infidelity, a cyclical pattern of abuse by leaders, temple officials, priests, people who thought they were something, those stone deaf and hard-hearted. Stephen shook their stone foundations with truth, like those before him, Abraham, Joseph, Moses, Elijah, Jesus. He called people back to the cornerstone. Thunk, relationship with God. Thunk with community. Thunk with creation. Pointing fingers and instigating reform. It was just a stone's throw to his predicament. Yes, stoning. Stone as a living stone. Mother Mary, just like she was at the cross, was standing on, mother wisdom recoiling and watching. Once again, truth. Resurrection neutralized, pulverized. Pulverized stone, heated and pressed and squeezed in time becomes rock. Mother Stone. Mother Stone is the voice of Mother's Mary, a composite of alloys and creatures, minerals, precious metals, stones of beauty, worth, and strength, foundation. Mother Earth with lava and bedrock and stones created cradles life. Truth, a stone foundation of mother wisdom. Truth embraced by Stephen, the resurrection. Truth mined and smelted, formed into Mother's Day. The voice of Mother Mary's resurrection as told by the they was a story of reconciliation and peace, and it was about women throwing stones. Stones that were to shatter poverty, advocate through reconciliation, break oppression. Before the Civil War, Mother's Day Work Club, the resurrection story of Anne Reeves Jarvis, taught women how to properly care for their children, living stones. After the Civil War, Mother's Friendship Day, the resurrection story by mothers as a unifying force to mold, to heal, to reconcile Union and Confederate soldiers, living stones. 1870, Mother's Day Proclamation, the resurrection story of Julia Ward Howe, abolitionist and suffragette. Mothers united for world peace, mothers against war, yes, living stones. And a little later, the resurrection story as lived by Juliet Calhoun Blakely of the temperance movement, throwing stones to make family relationships right, wholesome, good. In 1900, amidst a chauvinistic calendar of male achievements, the resurrection story as told by Anna Jarvis, walking in mother's footsteps, petitioning for a Mother's Day to honor the sacrifice mothers make for their children. And my, how the stones rain down, and paving stones of what could be, resurrection and new beginnings, activism, because of its pumice stone effect, was crushed. Mother's Day crushed, to become a day of flowers and candy and cards, commercialized so that raging women, their angst would be cast into controllable, softer stone, a stone that continually softens by erosion, a sandstone, not a sharp edge to be found. Misinterpreted and exploited the purpose of the day, Mother's Day was quieted and hushed. Killed. Two birds with one stone. Focus on sentiment. Make a profit. As in farmers' fields after frost, stone picking happens in spring. Political and feminist causes not wanting sentiment to be what was carved in stone, cast not the first, but cast the first stone back at glass houses where people should know better than to cast stones in the first place. Tried again. Heated lava erupting. The resurrection story, told in '69 when Coretta Scott King used Mother's Day to march to support underprivileged women and children. The resurrection story, told in 1970, where women's groups used Mother's Day to fight for equal rights and access to childcare. The resurrection story, once again out of the tomb in the voices of Mother Mary's, and just as quickly pushed back in and another stone rolled across the door. Enough already. Blasted stones. I want out of this stone age. Generation after generation repeat that crushing pattern. People are cemented in the tyranny of regime, ignoring the voice of Mother Stone, Mother Earth, Mother Wisdom, the philosopher's stone that turns base metal to gold, turns death to resurrection. It's time, past time, to get this moss off the rock, to rather be like a rolling stone, to stand with Stephen and to split rocks, to be pumice stone, to be Mother Stone, and say no more. This time of fake stone, engineered stone, it's over, for it is no kind of stone at all. This message is a get stoned and wake up from the haze different kind of moment. The ultimate message in the stoning of Stephen, in the resurrection story told by the women through the centuries, is a story of new beginnings. The gospel changes everything. Once one has tasted that the Lord is good, once one has received mercy, one balances on solid stone, the chief cornerstone. This is the why, the source of passion, the immovable truth that allows one to be stoned and not become stone-hearted, pelted by stones and yet forgive, pelted by stones and able to love recklessly. Like rolling stones gaining momentum, we are a landslide movement against infidelity and violence. Easy actions, infidelity and violence. The human way to reject the cornerstone because the new way, community way, is kidney stone painful. Birthing change is painful. The gospel changes everything. What appears innate. Stones, those silenced, the Mother Marys, the theys, the disenfranchised again and again repeat. Birth, their resurrection stories, throwing them as stones of action. Mother stones, resurrection, transformation, the possibility of what can be, what must be, living stones. And for generations yet to come are prepared to be, yes, prepared to be worn down, eroded, exploded, to die, so that the world see the cornerstone, balance there and change everything. Written on stone tablets, the ultimate message, leave no stone unturned. Strong, determined, mercy-focused. Serve, forgive, love recklessly. Birth the resurrection story. Be a rock of refuge for me, a strong fortress to save me. You are indeed my rock and my fortress. For your name's sake, lead me and guide me. Into your hands I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, faithful God. Amen.